What's up, bitches? It's Isaac here. So about a week ago, Keelvin, the creator of Anti-Birth, who is now a programmer and designer of Repentance, who also draws cute people sometimes, did an AMA on Discord. In that AMA, he gave a lot of insight on what they're working on next, fixes like a void rework, potential new characters, his thoughts on many topics, and much more. Like for example, he does not listen to K-pop and he has a small, you know.
Do not play Fiend Folio, I heard it makes your penis small. Well, I have nothing to lose then, right? It's already small.
So if you don't want to listen to the 5-hour and 22-minute long video, or don't know how to read, or don't want to read the cliff notes someone posted on Reddit, then this is the video for you. I listened to the entire thing, read that Reddit post, and took notes of my own. I will reference that Reddit post a lot, but I organized it a lot more. I have a lot more details, and some different things stuck out to me that I mentioned that the post doesn't. Plus, I'm going to give my opinion on everything, so regardless if you just read the Reddit post or have seen the entire thing, you'll still get some value out of this video. By the way, on November 27th, I will be racing Keelvin himself for charity. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll have a lot more information about that at the end of the video. Anyway, let's begin. I'm going to start with just some general information about what's going to happen and when. Fixing bugs and working on the mod system is top priority right now. He also mentioned new content is absolutely not a priority at all, and I want to stress that Vin often mentions how a lot of this stuff is not set in stone by any means. So there's no definitive dates for basically everything. Some have vague, rough estimates, but even that doesn't sound confident from what I heard, so don't hold your breaths for anything specific. But he did say the next update will come pretty soon, possibly even today. More small patches will come out regularly. He explains that they're doing small patches as opposed to waiting for one big update, because the more you add at once, the more likely things will break or there'll be bugs. So it's just way easier to split the updates up into small chunks. Keel will move on to other projects eventually, but for now he's enjoying working on Isaac. Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's going anywhere anytime soon, but he said in the future he wants to work on some of his own projects. He talked about making small prototypes for a few games he has in mind, which sounds very exciting and I cannot wait for that. By the way, Keelvin is going on vacation next month. Keel also has no involvement with console ports, same goes with localization. Alright, let's talk about floor updates and reworks and stuff of that nature. Keel will try to release the Void revamp in 2022 and fix custom rooms on Monday, but no promises, and today is that Monday for reference. So way later in the AMA, practically at the end, someone asks if Keel can tease us with literally anything about the Void rework, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is basically what he said. The Void is going to be something Isaac hasn't done before, ever. Expect to backtrack a lot less, it'll be a lot more streamlined, and it'll feel like more of a final area. I've actually always been okay with the current way the Void is. The only problem I've personally had is Delirium, but I don't know about you, but this is just mad hype, and I really can't wait to see what happens. Mortis is coming eventually. I didn't know what that meant, so I looked it up, and basically it's going to be an alternate version of the corpse. Like how there's Dross for the downpour, there's Necropolis for the depths, and stuff like that. On the wiki it also states, Edmund McMillan has confirmed on Twitter that there are currently no plans to add Mortis to the game, so y'all wiki people or whatever, y'all gotta update that. Kill really likes the concept of sub-themes to floors, like Fiendful. Oh my god, this is hard to say. Kill really likes the concept of sub-themes to floors, like Fiend Folio does. If you're like me and didn't play Fiend Folio or watch anything about it, I'm pretty sure that sub-themes to floors are just the same floors we know and love, with just more themes that make them stand out and more unique to any other floor. Like Fiend Folio adds themes like the smoky basement and the primitive caves, which, I mean, that sounds very cool to me. I would not mind seeing that at all. Kill will add more enemies to the mausoleum. Kill considered making alt floors more secret and unique, like doing Downpour, Mines, Mausoleum, etc. instead of Downpour 1 and 2, Mines 1 and 2, etc. Yeah, they explained that they wanted to make each floor just one giant floor, like one giant downpour, one giant mausoleum, but eventually they just went back to the standard formula of, you know, having 2 rounds per floor, you know what I mean. Let's talk about items and trinkets, rework synergies, and more. It's confirmed that more reworks to items are probably coming. There's more Spirit Sword synergies, more Epic Fetus synergies. Specifically with Epic Fetus, he says he doesn't like how it currently ignores your tier rate. He says there's always room for more synergies, he just has to think of more. Kill hates Arky, and his favorite new item is Suplex. Kill is still figuring out a way to cleverly nerf Echo Chamber. Okay, so this is really funny to me, because he said the only reason they haven't nerfed it is because they don't know how to. But here's the thing. So like I said, he hates Archie. He thinks it's too busted, but he included it because he knew people would love it. He feels the exact same way about Echo Chamber, so he may just keep it the same because he understands the desire to have some busted items. So in my mind, if Echo Chamber gets a nerf, it's kind of 50-50, but he did talk about a possible way to nerf Echo Chamber. One idea they had was to make it so Echo Chamber just remembers the last 3 cards or pills used. So I mean, I guess we're just gonna find out. The mysterious candy trinket could maybe benefit a tweak. The red key was originally inspired by a recurring theme in Kill's dreams, where he was in a familiar place with a door in places where it shouldn't have been. But he would always wake up before opening that door. It was Ed's idea to expand it and link it to Mom and the tainted characters. There's no plans to currently nerf C-section unless people start complaining about it too much. Kill acknowledges that it's a really good item though. Kill thought people would love Jupiter because it's kind of I don't know what that means. Farts, haha. He's surprised people don't really like it as much as he thought they would. I can see why he thinks people would like it. In my opinion, it's just a bit too much sauce. Like, it's a bit too much constant farting in my ears, but I get it. I mean, it's Isaac after all. Anti-birth items might make a comeback. I never knew this, but there's no item with the ID of 666, and he explains that it'll happen when it's ready and it needs to be big, very important. Okay, here's all the information about characters that we got. A new character could come out eventually. That's all the information we got on that, but it's cool he has one in mind, and because you know he's gonna make one character, there's most likely, I think it's a guarantee, that he's also gonna have a tainted side, so basically 2 new characters. More synergies for Tainted Apollyon's Locust coming eventually, which is beautiful because T Apollyon is so dull to me. Using Lazarus Rags with T Forgone and becoming the Thing was intentional. I strongly remember Kill saying the Laz pile was an accident, but now it's a feature. I didn't timestamp my notes, and I'm not going to find the parts, but I'm pretty confident he said it was a mistake that got turned into a feature because it's funny. Kill would like to make T Eden more visually unique. Tainted Lazarus was almost based off the Chronos mod, and if you don't know what that mod is, it's basically a character that's set on a timer, and if he can't clear the floor before the timer's up, he dies. There's ways to get, more time on the timer with interacting with consumables. That sounds like it could have been a lot of fun. Honestly, I don't know how it really relate to the character Lazarus, but I mean, I would be all for that. Blue Baby, the character, not the boss, does not need a buff. Sure, Jacob and Esau doesn't need a buff according to Kill. Based. There's an unimplemented quality system concerning items as T Kane. Not sure, haven't really understood this one well. I didn't write this one down and I don't remember anything about this, so I have no idea what that means. But here's what Kill had to say regarding Tainted Kane. The original Tainted Kane, that is. He likes T Kane, but didn't think people would figure out his recipes. He called it a debug with extra steps, which is exactly how I described him as the past. He didn't realize people would actually play Tainted Kane the way most people played Tainted Kane by looking up recipes. The character is supposed to be a game of how can I get rare consumables to spawn, kind of like RNG manipulation. Kill said there's no way they'll add a new item to every single completion mark as tainted characters because there would be too many. He said they can't promise anything, but they could do something about it. Yeah, he got a few questions about giving tainted characters more unlocks, and someone even asked if they could change the co-op baby as unlocks for Mega Saiyan fights with base characters. He explained if they add an unlock for one, they would have to do it for every single other tainted character, and that in itself becomes too much work there. Originally, they wanted it so there was only one unlock when you completely finish a tainted character. He also said it's okay to not like every tainted character because they are very experimental. He knew everyone wouldn't like all of them. Tainted Laz wasn't supposed to be a challenge character, but then Kill went with it until he realized it didn't work in practice. Tainted Isaac, T Eden, T Samson, and T Judas were surprisingly easy to make. T Samson had Berserk as a pocket active item before it was scrapped to have less control over it. He said it's because you felt boring because odds are people are just going to end up saving it for the boss. Also, T Samson was the one who originally gave them the idea to have pocket items in general, which is funny because, he didn't end up with one. He also explains how basic characters having pocket items would spoil tainted characters and it would make some base characters just broken. There's a possibility of having infinite Eden tokens for a full save file. One idea for a Keeper rework was giving him 99 coins as his life. but there'd be no iframes at all, so you'd be constantly losing money as your health. This got scrapped because it just didn't fit well at the end of the day. Originally, he called the tainted characters beastskins since they reminded him about those in Nuclear Throne. Keel already wanted to make tainted characters before knowing that Ed had the same idea. Ed pushed the idea to what we have now. The most overused character is Eden according to Keel, even though Keel doesn't really like playing as him. He did say he understands the appeal, however. All to tainted characters is not happening. The fact that this is even a question kind of surprises me. Yeah, like, it's obvious that we're not going to get a C side of every character. Also, in this AMA, Kill said that if there's a Repentance Plus, kind of like Afterearth Plus, Kill is going to die because there's only so much they can add to Isaac at the end of the day. He also said non-tainted characters may get tweaks, but no promises. For example, he said that the Void is kind of a weak item for Apollyon now. He explained since most every item is now decently takeable and just buffed, there isn't too much incentive to suck up items with the Void. Personally, I strongly disagree. You're a maniac if you think I'm not sucking up most familiars or like a range ups with Apollyon. I like the way he is now, but yeah, there's room for improvement with some of these basically. He also explained how Tainted Jacob is supposed to be miserable, and giving him a quote-unquote good birthright was not on theme. But then he explains how he thinks the birthright for Tainted Jacob is actually good, and I personally agree. He said his favorite new change was Judas's birthright, and he says there's way more synergies coming. He likes Keeper's birthrights and says not every effect needs to be insane, and I think he's completely right. Also, I think a health up on the Keeper is actually insane. But I guess that's kind of a hot take as most people seem to be underwhelmed by it, but you know, it is what it is. He likes the new Tainted Eve more because of the incentive to suck clots back up. I get that, I like that there is that incentive, but I genuinely consider this to be a nerf to Tainted Eve. The clots already felt like they died, and they died fast I should say, and she was never really my favorite character. So I'm not a big fan, but I kinda get it, but I don't know, it's whatever, it's just not my style I guess. So I didn't really write down too much regarding mods, and I'm not a huge modder myself, as in I don't really play mods and I sure as hell don't script them, but there's a few notes I still have. He likes the idea of custom mod presets / mod packs, but said he'd have to find a proper way to do it. Repentance mod API 2.0 is a thing Kill would like to do, but it would require a lot of work. Kill also mentioned how he has not checked out a single mod recently. I think by recently he means like since he's been working on Repentance, but I can't quite remember, but he does not know of any mods basically. Too busy working on the game to see what other people are doing on the game, I get that. Kill also mentioned how he doesn't want the item description mod to be in the options. I totally get the reasoning, you know, a lot of developers, they want you to play the game how they want you to play it, and the fact that they want you to discover items on your own and figure out what they do on their own. But to not have this at least as an unlock for seasoned players seems very silly to me. Like, I didn't use the item description mod until I had over 1,000 hours in the game. I made sure I got my first impressions on all these items and played with them a good amount before finally getting the item description mod. And the way I play now is I want to know what I'm getting to make the most out of every single item. And the thing is, people are going to download this mod regardless, so having it as an unlock might incentivize people to not download the mod and just wait till they unlock it. I mean, at the end of the day, maybe not, but I just kind of think it's silly not to put it in there when this is a universal mod that most people are going to use anyway. But it's up to you guys, of course. Let's move on to bosses and enemies. Cut bosses will be added eventually. Apparently, Black Champion Skolex was meant to be a Black Champion pin, but someone made a typo. Kill would like to work on champion versions of bosses. He referred to Colostomia as her, which people in the comments point that out every single time I misgender this poop, which is funny because it's a poop. He also says Colostomia is one of his favorite new bosses. And he also called her fight simple. You heard that, guys? Simple. So many of my commenters just say Colostomia is a nightmare to fight. And I've always said, what are you talking about? She's not that bad. And now that I have a dev on my side, I don't know, man. I'm just excited about that, I guess. Kill likes corpse eaters. He just needs to figure something out to implement them better in Repentance. Sisters Vis and Rag Mega reworks confirmed. Kill likes Blue Baby's music theme. If he reworks bosses like Blue Baby, he would just listen to their soundtrack since he got so much inspiration from just their OSTs. The same thing happened with Ash Pit's creation process. He also says there'll be a Blue Baby boss rework to make him feel like an actual final boss, which I think is just absolutely fantastic. I always wondered why Blue Baby was way easier than Isaac. It didn't feel right. If Hornfell played TF2, he would be a demon man main. Sorry, I don't play TF2. Dumplings are not off the table, and Little Dumpy will probably get a buff. Tainted roundworms could deserve an HP buff, which I actually agree with. I've noticed that on my own. Kill talked about how you will often kill the roundworms before they can even do a single attack, and that's exactly been my experience, so that's kind of cool. I don't know how to pronounce this. Posthumous anti-bosses are apparently a maybe, but his tone didn't seem too reassuring. So I think it's kind of funny that they mentioned right there that his tone didn't seem too reassuring, because in a lot of this, he just said like, I don't know when it's gonna happen, I don't know this and that, it's gonna be a lot of work. So a lot of this doesn't necessarily seem too reassuring just because there's a lot he has to do, a lot on his plate. But yeah. So here's a bunch of random changes that didn't necessarily fit into any other category. For example, more changes to the donation machines are on their way, and the donation machine nerf was Kill's idea. He also admitted that the donation machine might have been a bit too nerfed. He then talked about how there's not much incentive to donate to the machine after you've already maxed it out, and he wants to add something to just incentivize you to keep donating instead of just blowing it up all the time. Which I think is a really cool change. I personally am a fan of the current donation machine nerf, and just adding more things to do with a donation machine just sounds like a good idea. Devil deals were probably over nerfed. There are a few devil deal items that could need a buff. Yeah, I mean, we've all been saying that for a while, right? Kill is talking about Leather Ice Cream, who is a room and enemy designer, about a complete greed mode rework, but nothing is set in stone. So we talked more about that rework, and he explained how it won't completely change the modes at all, it'll just improve them. They also are trying to figure out how alt path would work in Greeding Greedier, like how do you move on to the next floor, how planetariums work, and stuff like that. The Angel Room pool for Ultra Secret Rooms was just a placeholder because they couldn't come up with a proper pool. I may be wrong, but I think Kill said that Ed thought of the current idea for the Ultra Secret Rooms just being red items, and Vin just thought it wouldn't make any sense, but then realized it's actually kind of balanced, and he likes it. He likes the, oh, maybe it's a good item, maybe it's not for these secret rooms, because he says, where's the fun in always getting a good item? And I genuinely don't think I understand this take fully. I understand why do you always want a good item, where's the fun in that? I do think there needs to be bad items in this game to make it more balanced, to make the good items just really pop. But with that being said, Ultra Secret Rooms are not easy to get. They're maybe next to Era Rooms, one of the most, if not the most, rare room to get to. So to be rewarded with that with Mom's heals is literally a slap in the face. All of the dopamine you're gonna get by finding an Ultra Secret Room is immediately gone when you don't see anything even remotely good. This nerf, it really makes no sense. I don't get this one at all. He said he probably overbuffed Angel Rooms. He needs to come up with a proper way to counteract that though. Maybe just add Mom's heal to the pool. Concepts for new curses are hard to come up with. Curses are just kind of an annoyance right now, according to Kill, so he likes to rework them. Yeah, I saw him talk about Curse of the Giant, and maybe some other curses in Anti-Birth. I don't know, I didn't play Anti-Birth. He wants to completely rework everything, which I think is awesome because, yeah, curses are just annoying to me. I don't think they add too much challenge. They're just like, great. Now I have this. Great, now it's Curse of Darkness on the womb, so now I can't see the red creep on the red ground even more. So, I mean, yeah, I personally, I think it might be kind of cool to implement some kind of curse mechanic like in Enter the Gungeon, but I don't know how much work that would be, but something like that makes a lot more sense to me. Kill said that Isaac does not work too well with the concept of daily runs, but at the end, everyone plays the game however they want. If Kill reworked dailies, it would be tweaking the score system, messing around with pools and stuff like that, but it's too early to talk about this. Kill would personally like dailies to be endless runs in which you go as far as you can, but he understands it probably wouldn't be the best choice. And to that I say, Fooey, what are you talking about? Endless runs for dailies? Or just an endless mode in general, actually. That would be so much fun, and that would give me incentive to play a daily for the first time since I got the daily achievement. Like, I never played dailies, but endless mode sounds like a lot of fun, and maybe I'll play more often. Anyway, Kill wants to rework victory laps. He said he thought victory laps were fun for the first few times, but got old really fast because you just keep steamrolling and they're all the same, and with that I completely agree. He says new achievements are on their way and there's always room for more achievements, and to that I say hell yeah, dude. Kill would like to make online co-op an official feature, but doesn't know if it'll be implemented. So I didn't write this down directly, but I remember him saying there's almost no chance of it happening because there's way too much code that'll have to be rewritten. Kill has ideas for new challenges, but nothing is set in stone yet. He says he would like to have 5 more challenges just to have a round number, but no promises. He also talked about how making challenges playable with other characters is complicated, but he could look into it. Kill doesn't like achievements tied to dailies, but Ed does. Kill likes raspberry ice cream. Kill doesn't like the idea of fast travel, but he'll think about it. He doesn't mind backtracking and says it adds to the experience, and I fully agree. You have no idea how many times I forgot there's a certain card or whatever, or some play I want to make, and I only remembered because I backtracked. New resprites are on their way. If not, your Sagittarius and Snake Block are up to it, and those guys are 2 repentant spriters and artists. Ed wants to play Among Us with the rest of the dev team. Sounds pretty base to me. Northernlight is Kill's favorite Isaac content creator. Don't worry, I'll take that spot one day. No, but he said NL's his favorite because he's the original Isaac guy, and I think Kill said NL inspired him in some way, but I didn't write that stuff down. Kill's favorite color scheme is red and black, but also yellow with other stuff. So this was in response to just what's your favorite color, and he answered with he doesn't have one, but he likes color schemes, which is a really unique answer actually. I like that a lot. And he says his reasoning for liking red and black was because he's an edgy fuck or something along those lines. Alright, those are all the important parts of the AMA, or at least the parts that stuck out to me and this one guy on Reddit. Thank you to everyone for watching, and thank you to Keelvin for not only your hard work, but also how good you are at listening to the community to make Repentance as good as it possibly can be. By the way, on November 27th at 11 AM Central Time, I will be racing Keelvin for charity. It's a part of a tournament hosted by BD1P called Godspeed. You can donate to affect our runs in a positive or negative way, and 100% of the proceeds will go to charity. And the charity will be of the winner's choosing. It's gonna be a lot of fun and you don't want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you all have a happy Tuesday.